Hey everybody, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's play some Disco Elysium, shall we? Well, I've explored the bookshop. I've found out some information, kind of. Um, but mostly I need to buy stuff from this place, and I don't really have any extra cash. I don't even have enough real to stay again in the Whirling in Rags, so this is scary. I need to figure out how to make some more money. And there's got to be another path toward doing that beyond simply pawning stuff. I'm sorry, collecting bottles. But maybe that's as good as it gets? I don't know. Let me talk to this lady again, see if there's anything new.
The woman before you.
I'm just going to let her do that. Okay. So, you know, I'm not full of ideas about what I should be doing. I'm going to go try to talk to Joyce and see if anything new develops, but I don't think so. I can always hope. Oh, there's a bottle up there by Cindy the Skull.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Tell me about this alleged drug trafficking.
It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samar and Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Okay.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Yeah.
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
Let me get this straight. The materials come from Samara to Revachol through the terminal?
Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here.
Shamrock. Yeah, I was chatting a little bit on YouTube with Otto about Jamrock, and we were just laughing about how Gart loves the fact that he is not from Martinez, but lives in Jamrock instead, and Jamrock just seems to be equally bad, if not in some ways worse.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the Union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They transport the ingredients for a cut.
And you want us to investigate?
Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dockworkers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
Okay.
The handoff. The motor lorries at the roundabout.
The lorries.
Precisely. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they're vulnerable.
I see.
How convenient that they're stranded like beached whales at that roundabout.
It is convenient.
Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now.
I have seen that.
Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment.
I wonder if it's the guy who seems really cool that we talked to, who has the track, like the athletic clothing.
I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
I see. I really hope it's the racist driver and not the cool guy.
Uncovering Union secrets could also give you an upper hand when dealing with them.
Uh-huh. It's no coincidence the lorries are stranded there like that, is it?
No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However,
She pauses, looking to the sea.
this is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue.
She looks north.
Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable, the weary.
Well, at least this solves one mystery.
What's that?
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Tract and beg them to open a drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
Ah,
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kisaragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity. I'm sure you understand.
why didn't you come to the RCM earlier?
We did, on more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under.
Yeah, there really is.
We know the company has launched its own probe into the union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not just the RCM. No one's been able to find any hard evidence.
I see.
Well, here's your chance, officers.
Thanks. We already have some suspicions that one of the drivers was present at the lynching.
The two might even be connected.
Might.
Or not. Though, if you have evidence to the contrary, I'm eager to hear it.
We're eager.
As eager as I am to share it, Lieutenant, once the job is done.
What proof do you have the union's
How do you
involved?
think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund it.
I see.
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves.
So you think the strike is being funded with source ingredients for drugs, huh, Joyce? On your fancy boat?
Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely. Then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you.
Okay. Let's discuss something
She
else.
simply nods.
I've got some more questions about reality.
More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
What is this acute encephalopathy?
It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin B in the brain. Symptoms include a retrograde amnesia. It's quite serious. You should get yourself checked out.
Okay.
She conveys it in short, cold bursts, trying not to invest too deeply in the condition of this doomed detective.
Wow. Thanks, lady.
In case he goes down later, souring the entire portfolio.
I know you've got a lot riding on me. I won't let you down.
It's not just me, Detective. All of Martinez has placed its chips on your success. I pray we've all bet wisely.
What causes this?
Well, it's either bariatric surgery or long-term alcohol use.
It's definitely the drinking.
She nods slowly.
What times are these?
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for what?
For the big time.
There's a flash of teeth. What's the big
The
time?
revolution.
Ha! And what is this revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
Would you say it was a bunch of apes duking it out?
Why, of course. We're talking Duke Out Central. Full swing intra-species warfare.
And the apes, were they evil?
No. I would say the apes were neutral.
She looks at you, her gaze sharp. Okay, neutral.
On the other hand,
She turns north to the bombed-out buildings lining the waterfront, then shivers slightly.
It takes time for the apes to change and work. Perhaps what happened here was part of that time and part of that work.
Who got shot in the head?
those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, They all got shot in the head. Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
She likes the totality of it.
She does, huh? You could say they got totally shot in the head.
Indeed. They piled them in mass graves in Ozon. And, well, that's the last anyone heard of those people.
Did the communists and the anarchists shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
Truly a kerfuffle.
Yeah, it was a kerfuffle, all right.
The lieutenant mumbles from behind his notes. We're throwing this word kerfuffle around a lot.
Yes. The Insulindian deluge, they call it.
I had a deluge too, in my head. Point to your little head.
Yes. An acute thiamine deficiency can be exacerbated by alcoholism. Exacerbated means made worse.
Oh, I know what it means. Anyone else got shot in the head on the opposing side?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew.
I see.
The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
Smart king.
Yes. King Guillaume had a nose for bad PR. He ran before it. What is the expression? Went down? Anyway, Gil got out alive and his nephew Frisell got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time.
Who got the mineral rights?
The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
Okay, and by liberals you mean...
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement.
I see.
Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
How did the liberals win it all?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
I do.
We. She's one of them. Of course.
Yep, you're a liberal who bet on the revolution. If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
Wait, you just said the liberals already took everything.
The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people.
Wow. Who are the coalition?
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-le-Clay, the armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
I see.
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is critical, but ultimately understands the cause.
Moralist?
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head.
I see.
At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government. This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
Great.
The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue
Oh, I remember this,
forget-me-not,
yeah.
a piece of grey sky. Unofficial. For a moment, there was hope.
Not just technically, practically. For a moment, there was hope.
A devout man of the center. Hard to come by. It's good to have someone who takes a moderate approach to head shooting. In your line of work, I mean.
When was this
Turn of the
kerfuffle?
century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
Who started it?
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Marzolf came along and overthrew the government.
What did it do?
It made people overthrow their governments.
Wow, really?
Of course not. It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark.
Where did it spread from there?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Marzolf's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
What came next?
Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
Great.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie, a pair of pants.
It's true. Our lives are very different from each other.
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you think.
What is the zone of control?
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia.
Yes, me.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune.
What happened in the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eslary communication. Telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
"51 minus 8 equals 43.
Wait, you're saying it's been like this for 43 years?
Time flies.
What have we'd been doing all that time?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. '08 to '19 was simply hell.
And after that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
All that untaxed income must have fueled the new. That can only mean one thing.
That's what they discovered disco.
Yes, and quantitative easing. It was a market mirage, unfortunately. The 40s dispelled it. An Isla-wide hangover, you might say. So, here we are.
I like the market mirage better.
Welcome to reality, baby.
Hey! I'm in reality. I got the task done and I leveled up. Great.
For her to be where she is, Wild Pines Group must have picked the right side.
Which side was Wild Pines Group on?
They picked the winning side. That's why they're here, and others are not.
They chose wisely.
Perhaps it wouldn't have turned out that way had I been in charge. I might have bet on the king and led the Pines to doom.
You would have sided with the king?
I would have sided with the cannons. If you'd seen the calibers of the things, you might have too. Perhaps it's better I was born when I was.
I see.
10 of the 14 Indo tribes got it wrong. Feld, Kupri, Tricentennial. So I suppose I would have been in good company.
What would you have done differently?
Good question. What would you have done differently?
I don't know. I asked you, who are you in all this?
And I asked you. past less detective of the citizens' militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
Gosh, this is tough. I don't really know what I would... I mean, I wouldn't have killed more. I don't know about making it out with the mineral rights. That doesn't sound nice. I would have just tried to help people.
So a quarter of humanity simply lost their minds. And how would you stop a prion, a complex folding protein, unlife, with a technology 50 years ago?
With privatized healthcare and a work ethic does not turn your brain into sponge tissue.
A poor remedy for prion disease. That was the attitude of most of the more moderate Indo tribes, particularly those who supported the king.
I see.
Kupri, Resplendent, both gone now. Those that survived mended their ways. They're all ultras now.
Uh-huh.
Opinions expressed here do not reflect the official position of the RCM.
And what is your official position, Lieutenant?
My position, ma'am? My parents got ripped to shreds in the revolution. I would have gone the same way. I was saved by being 2 years old. That's my position. The abattoir.
Understandable.
That's enough about the
They are
times.
what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come.
Anyway, don't know.
Enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer.
Okay. I want to know what you are.
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
What are you?
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. A devourer of nations and infants.
Huh.
I am an ultra.
Dios mio, a liberal. I don't understand. What's so vile about that?
What you heard. I am a nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. One of those who pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. We surrendered the nation to financier pirates. No sane person identifies as ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. I can see we're not so different, you know. Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, do you find me frightening?
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride.
I forgive you, but only because you're charming.
A devil, who being of great charm and guile, sneaketh into the homes of the godly.
Whoa.
That dialect is ubi sunt. You recognize it's a quote from somewhere. A play written way back in the Franco-Nigerian century.
And persuades them to addict themselves to his service.
Ah, maybe you remember more than you let on. Despite whatever brain damage the alcohol may have inflicted.
Vile duel.
I hope we're able to continue as friends, despite my scaly bulk and my intimidating liberal credentials. This was not the plan all along. When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
Would you have done something differently?
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery, I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the Coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not for my own sake. Then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isla down rather than let them have it.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the ocean.
You're a smart woman.
Perhaps. My intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
You're no dummy yourself.
No, or intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
And the crown on your head as you lay in the casket.
You have daughters?
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother and a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
Let's try this one. It's tough.
It remains a mystery what you mean by this something close. This isn't about you. It's about reality.
We're in Martinez, baby.
Okay. Yeah.
Martinez, you would be excused for not knowing about it.
What's
Unimportant
Revachol?
Revachol is what you call a city.
What kind of a city?
Great kind.
As
Really?
if it's self-explanatory. Beyond patriotism. A fact.
What makes Revachol great?
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries.
Who built the city?
The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and Ile Marat, depending on your creed.
When was it built?
In the DeLorean century. 380 years ago.
And why will it resolve
They
history?
say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest.
Well, I think that's going to be unfold to be the truth. This is where the questions will be answered. The tensions are high. There's a strike. There's been violence. The fault lines are deep. And I'm here to kind of sort out the mess. There's more at stake here than, we initially thought.
By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men.
Why here?
We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people.
That's a lot.
In the middle of the Insulindic Ocean. The world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
So we're pretty much at the center of the world?
Oh, we're quite a way off. About
She points across the water where the skyscrapers
22
rise.
kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time.
Huh.
There is no recognition. Only the immensity
Wow.
of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
Observe the large body of water swelling cold.
She observes your eyes scanning the horizon, then breaks the silence.
Oh, I got a thought gained.
Slowly. This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Yeah.
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
What is
A
this?
bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
I meant, what is this place here?
Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislaine, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot.
I see.
Or two.
What is Rue de Saint-Jean?
A pre-revolutionary tenement.
Ah.
Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old.
They look old.
This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
Of course.
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off.
So I asked who lived here, and she's telling me that it used to be a pretty nice place before the war with the revolution. Well, you know, interestingly, I came back to just kind of chat with Joyce about new information, maybe seeing if new dialogue options had opened. And I've just been sitting here for about 20 minutes listening to her explain the history of the past 50 years, politically, economically, ideologically. It's just so fascinating. Like, what kind of a game has this much information baked into it that seems so vibrantly real, so believable?
Splat, splat.
Uh-oh. From a dilapidated balcony, Cindy de Skull gives Joyce the evil eye, her red paintbrush held to her throat.
Wonderful.
Look at this standoff. What is that? Point to Cindy de
The
Skull.
girl in the old lady rags.
Yes.
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infraculture?
Yes. You and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
I understand everything. Make it more complicated somehow. Or, now explain the same thing but to a child.
I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead.
Yeah.
All right. What next?
She is taking a sip of her tea.
Suddenly, you're not so sure you're part of the supraculture.
I think I may be part of an infraculture.
And what would that be?
Disco.
I can see that, yes. I dabble in those dark arts myself, not so long ago. I assure you, it was a thoroughly supracultural phenomenon. All permeating. Downright mandatory.
Yeah, but to be doing it now, and still, to be into disco years after it was popular, we're in infraculture territory, lady.
Nothing infra about disco, baby.
You're disco, baby?
Those days are long behind me. And even in the early 30s, I would say I was more of a new girl. Disco was a minor, but still enjoyable facet of the whole thing for me.
The new?
The new. A cultural era. And the name of the decade it ravished, the 30s. It came out of post-revolutionary revival. It was ultra-liberal.
I see.
It involved lots of partying, as you might imagine.
Nice.
And champagne-colored everything. By the looks of it, that would have been when you came of age. Now.
Sounds fun. I can't remember a single thing.
Wasn't it Guillaume Le Million who said, if you can remember the new, you weren't there?
Wait. Guillaume Le Million, I was just thinking about that guy. Whatever happened to him?
Ah, yes. This is not very central to reality, is it?
No, but it's important. I want to
I
know.
can't be 100% sure, but I believe he died due to complications from venereal disease.
That sounds about right. Are you sure he didn't die of autoerotic asphyxiation?
You can't get a venereal disease from that, can you?
Which one?
All of them.
All of them. So you're saying he didn't vanish in a puff of stardust?
I'm afraid no. But then again, one can't be entirely sure. It's all part of his mystique. Ask someone else and you may get a more champagne-colored take.
Okay.
Anyway, what other basic facets of reality should we discuss?
That's all for now.
Glad to have been of assistance.
Thank you. Oh, good God. Another day with Joyce. But we did level up, didn't we? So I'm going to keep pounding logic. And I only have 2 more to go until I'm like the master of logic. And so, boom. I now have a 10. And I feel good. And then if I go into here, I will have completed getting the lowdown. And now I can move on to a different quest. Now, I wonder if I can go talk to the lorry drivers or if I actually have to get that dialogue option further with Joyce before I could find out. I'm gonna do it. I know Kim doesn't want to be with her, but
The lorries are still
all right,
stuck,
I've made up my
then,
mind.
yes?
We'll take the case, probe the driver, see what it yields.
Excellent. According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something.
Okay.
It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I can keep the drawbridge up for a few more days at least. You should have the time you need.
Thanks.
In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
She takes another long sip from her seemingly bottomless thermal cup. She's been drinking it for a while. Thank you. That's all for now. I know Kim didn't want to do this case, but I kind of feel like I'm short on leads, and you know, busting a drug ring does seem helpful. I like Joyce. It's complicated. You know, there's probably reasons to not do this, but for now, I'll give it a shot. I'm gonna go get this bottle so I can try to not sleep on the street. Bump, bump, bump. Yes. I got another bottle. Hey, Cindy, you got any more bottles? You got any money, Cindy?
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
Oh man, it's a red check. Jeez. Oh. No, I haven't. I'm out. Alright, so we gotta go talk to the lorry drivers. Hopefully that'll give us some leverage with the union so we can get that body down. Maybe be able to get by our good buddy Measurehead, who doesn't seem like he's ever gonna move from the spot that he's in. Alright, here we go. Let's jog. Let's get our constitution up. No, we can't go that way. We'll be trapped with Kuno's fangirl. Oh, what's this?
There. Working class drunk. You know what this means, right?
Yeah, there he is. Case solved.
Cracked it. All in a good day's work.
Wait, what did I crack?
What do you mean, what did I crack? Look at how working class that drunk is.
It's the future leader of a proletariat uprising.
No, it's not.
It's her husband?
Yes, and you found him. Now go and tell the working class
Oh,
woman.
that's right.
Protect and serve, recruit.
Okay.
Didn't she repeatedly tell you her husband isn't missing though?
Oh.
But he is missing. You heard her. The worry in her voice.
This doesn't add up. I'm only making a fool in myself. Give me champagne. I'm going
There's no
in.
need for champagne when there's honor, recruit. Go and tell the working class woman what you found right now.
Okay. This sounds like a great idea. I'm doing something really, really good here. Working class woman, I found your husband. He's hanging out. Protect and serve, madam. I found your
God
husband.
Damn it, I already told you. My husband isn't missing.
Well, I found him nevertheless. I'm that
Very
good.
well then. Where is he?
Right around the corner. He has pissed himself. Our hammer-toting comrade was at the bottom of those stairs. There. Point to the working class drunk down near the sea.
Excuse me? I don't follow.
There's something else hiding in her voice, though. A trace of worry.
I found a working class drunk and I thought he might be yours.
Right, 'cause working class women come with alcoholic husbands. You know what?
What?
Remember, about that what. Never ever say what.
I'm not saying what.
You were right. I do have an alcoholic husband. Although not that one.
But you told me your husband's all
I
right.
did, and he is. He's also an alcoholic.
Is he missing as well?
No, he's not. Or maybe he is, I don't know. He's probably in the park, or in Shamrock somewhere,
God,
drinking with his friends.
Jamrock.
I haven't seen him for... Well, to hell with him.
Oh no, poor lady. She's completely forgotten about her book, staring blank into the distance instead.
There. She's worried
She
now.
is worried. Kim, is it just me, or do we have a missing persons case here?
I wouldn't be so sure. Ma'am, just to be completely clear, do you want to report it to the police?
Yeah.
Report what? He's just out drinking with his friends. I'm sure the police has better things to do than to chase down local goofballs.
I'm taking the case. Not at all. The RCM is ready to chase down every goofball in town. We care about
She
you.
sighs, but you can detect a slight hint of gratitude and relief from her face.
Ah, a slight hint.
All right, go ahead. Do you have any questions?
What's he look like?
Honestly, not that different from you.
So let me guess. He's disco? Like a late-stage alcoholic, then.
That's one way to put it, yes. No offense. I'd also add he's a little bit chubby.
Okay, what else?
What else? He was wearing a dark brown leather jacket with a bright blue inner lining. The lining is hand-sewn. I made it myself.
Huh, she adds, her voice slightly quivering.
It's his cool jacket.
Ah.
God knows it's too cold to run around in this, but he refuses to change.
Yeah, he should wear a bigger jacket.
I even tried throwing it away once, but he just dug it out of the bin. Can you believe it?
Well, if the jacket is really that cool, then I could totally understand.
Well, what can you do? I hope that at least that extra lining helps him keep warm at night. I wouldn't like him to catch cold.
Oh, what a nice lady.
She's thinking about him out in the cold, in some park, or on the coast. And it's making her more and more worried.
Oh, this poor lady. When did you last see him?
Yesterday morning, he went to the library.
Uh-huh.
He went to retrieve my book, and he promised he'd walk straight back home.
Uh-huh.
Because we talked about this. We talked about not wandering off again. I don't know what to do. I honestly don't know what to do with his addiction.
Jeez.
Just makes me feel weak.
Oh. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, lady.
Gone for around 36 hours then. Damn, This is a missing persons case.
It is.
She turns away from you in an attempt to recover.
I think I've got it. Thanks.
So you are going to look for him.
Yes, I will bring him back home to you.
Thank you. Please do. Even though I'm sure he will return home by himself. I'm still sure of that.
I hope so, lady.
I'm sure he will too. When he does, would you let Precinct 57, Kim Kitsuragi, know?
He gives her a slip of paper.
I will. Of course, officer. As I said, it's probably nothing.
The woman takes the slip of paper. It's a phone number. Thanks, I'll get going then. Wow, so I've got some new cases here. I'm gonna go help with a drug smuggling ring and find a missing husband. Let me talk to this guy. Make sure he's on the straight and level. I make my own way. Always have, always will. Well, at least you can say you did it your way then, right? Oh, she's not out here anymore. Well, how could she be, right? She's inside with her gang of murderers. Alright, and now here's the good lorry driver that we like, and we'll talk to them and find out what we can about Joyce's new kerfuffle.